but for a lot of people, they can't find anybody good that's close enough to them, and people are just having trouble. Or some people may not want to use the hormone itself.
Right.
Maybe they want to see, what can I do to naturally boost my testosterone level? So what can you tell men and women who want to do it naturally?
So that's a really good question. And that's also in my course. That's actually in module 1 of my course. So again, everybody's biochemically unique. We're all individual humans. What works for one person won't work for the other. But one of the doctors that I work with, Dr. Rob Komenarik, he's a legend in this space. He's in Dayton, Ohio. He's actually moving his entire practice to Florida because Ohio is just a disaster, from an obesity standpoint. But very well known, speaks at all the conferences, very close friend of mine. He's been on my podcast many times, but I interviewed him specifically for the course to ask him that question. So the question is, what is the percentage of people in today's day and age, knowing that we're being bombarded in the biochemical onslaught of everything, the Internet of Things, right? What is the percentage of people who can stay naturally optimized? And his answers are fascinating and shocking. And again, he's been prescribing hormones now. His is his 25th year. He's an emergency medicine trained doc. And he started doing this again by chance or luck or accident or whatever. But I mean, he's a master of this. He's got all sorts of celebrity clients he works with. And he says that if he goes by age, so if you're 40 years of age, male or female, and you're totally type A, anally retentive, and you cross every I, you dot every I and cross every T, and you do everything, he's like 15% of people can stay optimized if you're one of those people. Now, what it gets weird is when you're at 50 or older and you're one of those people, he says 1.5 to 2%.
Wow. So
the answer is you can't do it in truth. If you live in LA or New York and you are a 50-year-old multimillionaire, entrepreneur, white collar professional, and you're not type A, good luck. It's almost impossible. I mean, this. The water systems in LA are so contaminated. Dr. Anthony Jay, the Mayo Clinic researcher, the guy who's written all the books on estrogen in the water and the food supply and the environment. He's like, you have to put in a massive filtration system in your home. You have to put in a filter in your shower. There's so many things that you again have to do just to prevent getting bombarded by phytoestrogens, estrogenic compounds, BPA, phthalates, all these things, plasticizers. It's insane, right? And the other thing that, because he wrote the book in 2018, he's actually doing I just talked to him this week on a phone call, but he's redoing it. He's doing part 2. Joy, the electromagnetic radiation that is coming out of these things are literally decimating our biological systems. Like, we don't even comprehend yet the second and third order effects of what these things are doing. But he knows because this is what he studies, but it's like all of this shit is so bad. So when people ask that question, like, how can I do this naturally? Because I'm afraid of using hormones. Well, you really can't, if you're genetically blessed and you're super anal retentive, then maybe you under 5% of people can do this. But it's really, really difficult. It's so difficult. And I'm definitely pro natural optimization before clinical intervention, but it's becoming harder and harder and harder to say to a person that you're ultimately at some point not going to have some form of clinical intervention. How many guys, here's the question that we really have to ask and nobody asks is, what is the percentage of men and women walking around on the streets today, 40 and up, who have a severe testosterone or progesterone or estradiol or all three combined deficiency? Again, I don't know the answer, but if I do my Jay Campbell look around test, it's pretty high.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of these people have nowhere to go. They don't know anything about this. They're not watching podcasts that you and I are on. They're not reading books on hormones. You know what I mean? And again, all they have is their first line of defense is their primary care doctor. And that person doesn't know jack shit. So it's like, what do these people do? In truth. I mean, again, the way I say it is like, you just have to take ownership of your health. I like to call it, I borrowed this from a doctor that I work with, but, he says you have to become the proactive scientist of your own health. No one's pouring through your medical records. No one's looking, at your interventions. Like, oh, I see Mr. Campbell has now turned 51 and, you got to do this, this, and this year. So, I mean, like, you have to take ownership of everything yourself now. We're way past, the family doctor, intervening on your behalf at some point in time. I mean, it's all about you personalizing your healthcare. And like I said, realizing that you're going to have to spend money, whether it's $4,000, $8,000, $10,000. I mean, my wife and I both spend more than $10,000 a year on our personal health. Are you kidding me? I mean, I avoid doctors. I mean, I was in a serious car accident in August of last year, and I'm lucky to be here, right? Like, I turned left out of my subdivision and a 74-year-old man ran into me. I was gone. And then the airbag deployed and hit me right here and caused a 3rd-degree concussion. Brought me back. I was like, yes, I'm out of here. And then boom, shit, I'm still here. But I mean, it was like, even then, like, do you want to go to the hospital? No, I refuse. I'm good. I nursed myself back to health. I had a 3rd-degree concussion. I called all my brain surgeon docs and stuff like that. Hey, what could you do? My wife did the first 2 or 3 days, but I mean, I was obviously in good health, right? I take care of myself. So, I mean, I recovered faster than somebody not in good health, but it's just kind of like I would have spent anything, right? To like, make sure that I'm good. So, that's where people have to get to is like, okay, first you have to take care of yourself. You have to do your blood work. You got to know what you're working with. And then if there is a deficiency, and again, most people have a deficiency, then it's like, okay, I want to make sure that I'm going to work with the doctor who can help me. I need to know how to vet that doctor. And I need to know if I can, because you said it was a good point. I need to know if I can work with this person via telemedicine. Can I have a call like you and I are having right now, right? Like, it's commonplace now to have a call with your doctor like this. And there's no reason that you can't.
I know a lot of doctors talk about supplements, like in anti-aging conferences, to talk about supplements that can enhance and boost testosterone levels. So do you not believe that they really make a big dent in
Well, I will tell you this, and I don't want to like ruffle anybody's feathers. There is nothing other than testosterone that will actually optimize testosterone. There are all sorts of supplements like ashwagandha, Tongkat Ali, things that will enhance libido, but they will not increase free or bioavailable testosterone in any level other than a transient increase. And again, my book studies all of this. We looked into all of the research for 50 years on testosterone boosting supplements, and there's no proof. In fact, there's actually a lot of proof that shows that a lot of them actually lower circulating free testosterone, again, transiently. But none of them will do anything. I mean, I hate to say it, but the only thing that those things literally do is take money out of the pockets of people who are paying for them, because they don't do anything. And again, you continually see the commercials with ex-pro athletes, celebrities, whomever, promoting these things, and then of course the people, the general public that watches them are like, well, if so-and-so is doing it, they still look good. They're virile, blah, blah, blah. So then they buy it. But I mean, I'm telling you, man, there's nothing. And I'm always pro natural optimization, right? Like, lower your carbohydrates, control for your insulin, exercise, get more sunlight, get better sleep. Sleep is a huge hormonal dysregulator. But all of those things, when you compare living in these contaminated worlds that we live in now, testosterone is the biggest tool in the tool belt. And there's no reason that anyone should fear side effects. I mean, again, in my course, in my second module, we really debunk the idea that there are side effects with this, because there aren't. There are side effects, but the side effects come from not knowing what you're doing. And unfortunately, the average doctor has no clue when they prescribe hormones to people. And the other thing is, and this is important, the average doctor who doesn't have a clue is also prescribing this, and this to that patient. And then that patient and then that doctor too have no idea what all those chemical agents are doing in combination, versus if you do this right, you start off with testosterone in isolation. Okay. And you do that after you've tried to boost pregnenolone and boost vitamin D3, and all, again, these steroid, precursor vitamins, which are really technically hormone or hormonal agents, hormonal modulating agents, before you do that. But again, I don't ever see that, because at the end of the day, the clinic, I call them windmill clinics, is trying to make money. So how are they not going to make money if a patient, male or female, comes in and says, hey, doc, I'm feeling the blues. I went to my PCP and he's like, you need to go get on testosterone. Obviously that would be lucky if the guy actually said that or the woman actually said that. But in the case that they do, and they send them to these clinics, and these clinics' job are to prescribe hormones. And you go on Google in LA or Orange County or San Diego or San Francisco, and you put TRT, or TOT even works now as a search term, and you'll get like 18 clinics that come up that say, we do hormones for $299 a month. And then the patient goes into that clinic and says, hey, I saw your ad. I want to get on testosterone. My PCP or my HMO doctor said I have a deficiency. Here's my labs, blah, blah, blah. And then before you know it, they're sitting there. Yeah, we can also put you on this and this and this and this, and this is clinically proven to do this. And then the person walks out and he's got like a $950 bill. And he has absolutely no idea all the different agents he's taking. And then a month later, he feels like absolute dog shit, because he's literally got 9 or 10 chemicals in his body that he has no idea what is doing what. The doctor at the windmill clinic doesn't either, because the doctor at the windmill clinic is probably just signing his name on there because, like, the people that run the clinic are the ones that are telling him what drugs to take and pills and supplements. So it just becomes a mess.
Yeah.